What do 300 million people in the world have in common? They use Truecaller to identify messages and calls before answering them. Started in 2009 in Stockholm, Sweden, Truecaller has helped people identify over 184.5 billion spam calls in 2021 alone. Half of Truecaller users are women, and this has helped in recognizing how harassment over phone calls and texts have become a major concern for them all across the world, and the critical need to take action. They found that 8 out of 10 women in India receive inappropriate calls and messages. Truecaller launched its Not OK campaign in 2017 that was designed to raise awareness, amplify the message and empower women to speak up against harassment both in digital communication and in the real world. Truecaller's aim was to understand the problem women face and encourage women to take action by reporting harassment to the authorities while generating awareness and conversations around it. Truecaller has emerged as the frontline defense for women against inappropriate calls and messages. Over 37.8 billion spam calls have been blocked and identified in 2021 alone. After all, digital communication should be safe for everyone, and Truecaller continues on the mission to build trust in communication by empowering women to tackle harassment. This year, Truecaller joins hands with Network 18, India's largest news network, to spread the message further. This initiative will highlight real-life stories of women who have raised their voice against harassment, along with educating the public on what constitutes harassment, while encouraging women to take action against such activities by providing them with the necessary information and details about police, NGOs, trauma experts, learnings through real-life represented cases and more. On-ground outreach with city town halls, vox pops and marches. All of these activities will be amplified through Network 18's digital and publication platforms along with these social assets. It's your turn to say it's not okay to online harassment and call it out.
Hello everyone, as always it is very good to see you. We are coming to you on a very special day, International Women's Day. This is a day when we celebrate the social, economic, cultural and political achievement of women across the world.
Today, it is doubly special for us as we launch a campaign that empowers women to rightfully claim their personal spaces. Welcome to the launch of Network 18 and Truecaller's anti-harassment campaign. Call it out because it's not okay.
It's certainly not okay. Through our campaign, we want to embolden women to take a stand against harassment and call it out. Harassment of any kind, over any medium, on the phone, online, or in person, it's simply not okay. It's not okay to harass anyone.
Absolutely, and it's not okay to ignore harassment either. We cannot allow anonymous perpetrators to hide behind a phone or digital screen and invade, quite literally invade our personal space through lewd calls and messages. Only if we report harassment will it stop.
So don't just block. Important to know, you need to call it out. Let me now welcome the first guest on this mega launch, the Honorable Minister of State, Ministry of Women and Child Development, Dr. Munjpara Kalubhai. Welcome so much. First, let's begin by asking you to share a few words on this big occasion.
Thank you and congratulations on the launch of campaign It's Not Okay. Unfortunately, women across the world face harassment on regular basis. Women get harassed on phone, on social media and in person. In 2020, lakhs of cases of crime against women were reported in India as per National Crime Record Bureau. Though cases of crime against women in cities were down by 8.3% in the year 2020 as compared to 2019. The Ministry of Women and Child Development has undertaken a number of measures to enhance the safety of women in India. Our mission is to promote the social and economic empowerment of women through several policies and programs, mainstreaming gender concerns, creating awareness about women's rights, and facilitating institutional and legislative support for enabling them to realize their human rights and develop to their full potential. The government has set up non-lapsable Corpus Nirbhaya Fund for enhancing safety and security of women. The Ministry of Women and Child Development is also implementing scheme including the scheme of One-Stop Center for Violence Affected Women, the scheme of universalization of Women Helpline number 181, and the scheme of Mahila Police Volunteers under Nirbhaya Fund framework. We have launched the Sexual Harassment Electronics Box, C-Box, to provide a single window access to every woman, irrespective of her work status, whether working in organized or unorganized, private or public sector. It is the need of for all the stakeholders to come together and wage a war against harassment. In this regard, I would like to congratulate Network 18 and Truecaller for launching the campaign It's Not Okay. Call it out to fight back against harassment. It is important for women to report harassment, and it is equally important for us to take action against all forms of harassment. We remain committed to ensuring the safety of women.
Thank you so much, sir, for your support and for joining us on this campaign. Now, It's Not Okay was launched 5 years ago to generate conversation around the issue of harassment, provide means to fight back, and create a platform to share solutions and advice.
And now let us welcome the co-founder of Truecaller, Mr. Nami Zarringhalam.
Hi, it gives me immense pleasure to be delivering this important message on the occasion of International Women's Day. Women and personal safety as a subject is very close to Truecaller. We have undertaken several initiatives in the past to further this agenda, including the It's Not Okay campaign to increase awareness on harassment faced by women and enhance women's safety in digital communications. Through our past research, we have found that although 1 in 5 women in India receives sexual harassment calls, only 12% report it to the authorities. This shows the extent of normalization of harassment in society. This in turn adversely impacts women's confidence and hinders their ability to grow and thrive. With our campaign, It's Not Okay, Call It Out, we want to pave the way for women everywhere to take the right call by not just focusing on awareness, but also encouraging and enabling women to take the next step by calling out harassment through It's Not Okay, Call It Out campaign with Network 18. As a part of the campaign, we will engage with policymakers and law enforcement agencies to enable and promote a safe environment for women to be able to report instances of harassment. From she teams to women-friendly police stations to the latest Nirbhaya squad. There are several programs in place that encourage and promote women to report crimes. There are also several helpline numbers, online portals, and mobile applications that have been either developed by the government or in collaboration with the government to ensure women's safety. Using Truecaller to block unwanted communication and our latest app, Guardians, to secure your personal safety is a good way to keep safe in regular life and even on the move. We at Truecaller launched It's Not Okay campaign to raise awareness against women harassment that occurs through mobile phones, with the aim to challenge the current scenario of normalizing harassment. And we stand with you and hope to be a support system in your hour of need. So don't be a silent sufferer or observer. Step in and report it. There will be a support system for you all the way through. Be a part of our campaign and take a stand against harassment. Every action contributes in a large way towards what's making society safe for everyone. Thank you.
To everyone watching, if you face harassment, call it out because it's not okay. And to report harassment, dial 112 or 181 or log on to cybercrime.gov.in.
Learn how to tackle harassment by taking the True Cyber Safe curriculum on itsnotokay.in. We now bring you a story of a woman who decided to speak out against harassment. Take a look.
I'm Amreen. I'm 26 years old and I live in Bombay. I was born here and I've been here all my life. I'm a web designer. Last year, in the middle of the pandemic, I was supposed to meet a friend in the middle of a work day just for a cup of tea. We found the number of the restaurant and we gave them a call. The first number that I called, they said that this number is not the restaurant that you have called, it's the other branch. As soon as I reached home, I get a message from a random number, and then there was this voice note along with the message. I played it and it was this very disgusting, offensive message. Before the person could send anything else or follow it up with any other message, I immediately blocked it. That was presence of mind or just being extremely scared to hear anything more. I was a little scared after that, like, who is this person? I had no idea. I thought of talking to my parents, but it was just my mom there. I was a little scared about, do I want to put her in that place where she also gets a little scared. So I ended up calling my friend, Shoaib.
I receive a message from my friend Amreen. She says, okay, here's this audio clip.
I don't know how I made the connection, so I ended up checking that on Truecaller. And on Truecaller, it listed it as the restaurant's official account.
I spent some time with her, and then once she was a little calmer, we were trying to decide what is it that we should do next. So I happened to call that particular number.
Bro, ये उल्टा सीधा मैसेज है, हम पुलिस में कंप्लेन कर देंगे.
Then next I called up the owner of that particular restaurant.
They were like, no, we cancelled this number a long time ago and this doesn't exist anymore. They were not ready to, accept this as something that they overlooked and this should have been removed from the platform.
So we were like, okay, this is just not adding up. Somebody's lying in this case, so we obviously have to take it up with the police.
So the next step, after putting it up on social media, writing about it, screenshots, tagging the right organizations, we decided to put it up on the cybercrime cell. Most important thing here is to speak about it to people you trust, speak about it to your parents, have more faith in the system, have more faith in calling these people out.
Amreen has reported the offence online, which is fine. But you need to understand, for kicking in the police system, you have to go to the local police station which is going to investigate your matter. You have to, in writing, give a written police complaint along with all the evidences attached, all the leads that you have about the case. The police takes crimes against women very seriously.
To report harassment, dial 112 or 181 or log on to cybercrime.gov.in.
Call It Out is a movement that really aims to educate and empower women to take action against harassment. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome now on board Chairperson of the National Commission for Women, Rekha Sharma. Rekha ji, I appreciate your time.
On average, how many cases of harassment are reported to NCW every month, and what percentage of cases do you reckon go unreported?
In a year, we get from 30 to 40,000 cases. And most of the cases of harassment, whether it is domestic or outside, this is just a tip of iceberg. This is just a tip because UN data says that every third woman is being harassed in the world. So you can imagine that how many women must be getting these harassments. But then in India, most of the women don't even know where to go.
And that brings us to this very important question. What can women do to tackle / report cases of harassment, and what are the resources that women can reach out to seek this help? Where do they go?
Firstly, she should, call 181 if any kind of problem she is having, whether it is domestic or outside. Secondly, then she can call dial 100 number. she can write to us, NCW. So women should always come forward for asking help.
What will be your message to all those girls and women watching this broadcast?
This message which I give, every day I give to every women, that you must speak out. If you need help, speak out. Unless you speak, nothing will change. When something is happening to you or to other person, I think we women should handhold other women. Only then things will change. We have to talk, we have to shout, not only for ourselves, for others.
Thank you so much for joining us. And as Rekha Sharma was pointing out, that it's not okay for women to stay silent, because only when you speak out against harassment and call it out can this battle be fought and won.
On that note, joining us next on our mega launch is someone very special, the mega launch of Call It Out, because it's not okay. We have badminton player Jwala Gutta who is joining us. Jwala, always good to see you, smiling brightly there. You are a celebrity with a huge online presence, we know that. Have you faced harassment online or over the phone? And what did you do? What did you do? You're a celebrity.
Thank you for having me. It's always a great pleasure talking to all of you. I'm one athlete where I've always been criticized for who I am and how I am, how I look, and what I say. Somehow it's never expected out of a woman, I feel. Whenever a woman wants to put forward her opinion, it's never taken in the right way. And I feel even before COVID, I was called made in China, wanted me to prove my nationality online. I think wo pehle hota tha, right? Eve teasing. Now they have a larger platform. Now they can sit, and also the power of anonymity, I think, has given sabko ye freedom that, we can harass anybody or tease anybody or say anything they like under a false user ID. That's why I've always stressed social media policing should become a little more stricter, because I feel sometimes that there are very young kids behind these user ID, and if they're not counseled, I feel more than anything, more than punishing them, I think they need counseling, and the policing should become a little stricter, I think. And if you have not, if you are the victim, you have nothing to fear. You have to come out, call it out, call those people who have, who are responsible, and use the system to our advantage. The system is there to protect us. Use the system. Don't be scared, and believe that there will be a change in future. Believe.
Jwala Gutta, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast. Thank you for encouraging everyone to fight harassment. It's now time to welcome on the show renowned social activist, writer and academic Dr. Ranjana Kumari, who's also the director of Center for Social Research, CSR, which is a non-profit organization based in New Delhi. Ranjana ji, good to have you on the show. Thank you very much for joining us. Could you tell us why exactly it is important to call out any sort of harassment?
Thank you, Maria and Shreya, for having me here on a very important day. Extremely happy that you are running this campaign. It's very timely and extremely important. Now, to answer your question, why it is important to call out? Because if you will not, then you are emboldening the criminal or people who are harassing you. You are really giving them a chance, and also a feeling of nervousness and scare sets in you, which is not only pushing you back, but also is very bad for mental health. It's just also important to understand that once you call out, then many others will get the courage.
Ma'am, tell us, how can all the key stakeholders, government, social organizations such as yours, lawmakers, law enforcers, all of them come together to ensure women get that safe environment to fight against harassment?
Maria, it's a very important question, because how many more decades years, days, women will suffer it. It's important that all stakeholders work hand in hand. Very, very important role is of the agencies which are being created for helping women who are suffering harassment. For example, National Commissions for Women, State Commissions for Women. We do also have Women and Child Ministry. I think this is something where we need to roll out the one-stop crisis intervention centers effectively in every district, every city of the country, every block of the country actually, so that women easily can access the support from state agencies. The other thing is also, we keep saying it and I'm again repeating it, that justice delivery system has to get more sensitized towards women's needs. The kind of response that women need, they must provide that kind of a response for getting women the confidence and also to be able to fight back, to be able to get justice.
Thank you, Ranjana ji. Hope this inspires both women and men to stand united against harassment. We have been saying that it is about generating conversations. It's about ensuring that men and women come together in this fight against harassment. And Shreya, as we have been saying, that number, dial 112 or 181 to report harassment, or log on to cybercrime.gov.in.
That's right, and you can learn how to tackle harassment by taking the True Cyber Safe curriculum on itsnotok.in.
There is a helpline 1091 for women. There's another one 1096 for harassment. So please call up these helplines if you ever need any help. Don't suffer in silence. It's not okay. Call it out.
Watch part 2 of the Women's Day special Streamathon in the next episode.